of faith files. Now, let's join forces with the Super Dooper Detective Agency and Detective Morales as they investigate questions of absolute biblical proportions.
Oh, hiya there, junior detectives. So good to see ya. And it's a good thing you're here, because we got a major case on our hands. Oh, and kiddos, grab your watercolor paints if you got some. We've got some gorgeous art to make. You'll need a paintbrush, a pencil, paper, obviously, a cup of water, and a napkin or something else absorbent. Oh, you hear that? Get on your tootsies, dear. It's time for worship. Get going.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul.
my name is Alexis, and I'm the 4th and 5th grade pastor at our Carlsbad campus. Today I am here to play a super fun game with you guys. It's like a detective game. It's called I Spy. Have you heard of it before? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say I spy something pink, and you guys are gonna look around the room and see if you can find something that's pink. When you find it, shout it out. You guys got it? You ready to play? All right, your first item to look for is Detective Morales' coat. Do you guys see it anywhere in this room? Look really hard. You found it! Great! Good job, guys. All right, our next item is Pickles. Do you guys know who Pickles is? Do you see her anywhere in the room? Look really hard. Oh, you found her. Good job, guys. All right, next item is a Bible. Do you guys see a Bible anywhere in this room? It's getting a little bit harder. Look really well. Good job, guys. You found it. All right, this one is super hard, so use your super detective senses and look with all of your strength. We are looking for a magnifying glass. Can you see the magnifying glass in this room? Look really hard. Good job, guys. All right, I have one last one for you guys. It's a little bit easy, but I want you guys to use your best skills to find this last one. We are looking for somebody in the room wearing a hat. Do you see them? Look really hard. Good job, guys. You found all of them. Hope you guys had fun, and that's the end of our game. Thanks for playing.
Hello, junior detectives, and welcome to the Detective Skills Lab. Here, you'll be honing your budding detective skills whilst simultaneously learning the ins and outs of detective work. Today, you'll be learning a very important tool for your detective skills bag: observation. Observation is the act of careful watching and listening. When we observe something, we pay close attention to someone or something. Now, seeing something and observing something are two very distinct things. When we see something, we simply notice it. However, when we observe something, we notice and then draw a conclusion. Observation is a very powerful tool for a detective. In fact, an investigator can use it not just to find clues, but figure out how they relate to the case. Takes a lot of practice to be a good observer. In just a moment, I'm going to show you an image for 5 seconds. I want you to pay close attention to that image, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about it. Are you ready? Righto, off you go. How many boats were in the photo? Did you say 4? Absolutely. How many people had red hair? 1? No. 3? Wrong again. It was 2. Very good. I'm going to show you this image again for another 5 seconds. Pay very close attention. How many birds were flying? 3 is your answer? Bob's your uncle, you're right. Finally, how many people were in this photo? Did you answer 8? I'm chuffed to bits, you're right. A great way to practice observation is by asking yourself questions like, how many people were in the room? Or, how many dogs were in this park? You've done a great job today, and keep up the good work. Righty-o, cheerio, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, it's Shelby. Today we're going to look up our memory verse. It's found in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Let's go find it. All right, so remember, we're going to start in our table of contents, which is at the front of our Bible. And we're looking for the book of Matthew. And that is going to be in our New Testament. And look, it is our first book. Mine's on page 1163. Let's go find it. Perfect. Here we are in the book of Matthew. Now we're looking for chapter 7. So we're going to count our big chapter numbers. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. And now you're going to scroll through the words and look for the little number 7. Let's see. Oh, here's 6. Oh, and 7. Perfect. Great job, you guys. You found your memory verse.
Hey guys, it's Allison, and I am super excited because this memory verse is one of my favorites, so I really hope that you guys can learn it with me and keep doing it because it's gonna be such a good one, okay? Our memory verse is Matthew 7:7. You guys know the deal. I'm gonna run through it once so you guys get an idea, then we're gonna break it down really slow, learn it together, and then see if we can do it 2 times in a row. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. You guys got that? Okay, let's try to slow it down. So we're gonna start with ask. So we're gonna take our finger, and we're gonna go kind of in a circle with a little hook, okay? So do your hook. Ask. You guys got that down? Ask. Good job. Now the next part is it will be given. Can you guys do that? Let's try it together. Ask, and it will be given. And the last part is to you. So point out. You can really point at me if you want. Let's try it together. Ask, and it will be given to you. Good job. That's the first part. Second part, we're gonna go search. Okay, so we're gonna take our hand, make a C, kind of in front of our face, and then go in a little circle. Can you guys do that with me? Search. Good job. So we're gonna go search, and then point out you. Let's try that. Search, and you, and then we're gonna go find. So find. So pretend like there's something in your hand and you're pulling it out because you found it. You guys got it? Let's try it one more time. Search and you will find. Good job, guys. Okay, let's see if we can do the 2 first parts together. Here we go. Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Awesome job, guys. Okay, last part. This one's really fun. We're gonna go knock. And I know you guys have all knocked before, but if you haven't, you do it like this, okay? So we're gonna go knock, okay? And then the last part is the door will be opened. So we're gonna pretend like our hands are 2 doors and we're gonna open one up, okay? Let's try that together. Knock, and the door will be opened. And then the last one, to you. Point out again. You guys got that? Let's try it together. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. Amazing job, guys. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's see if we can do it 2 times in a row. Okay, here we go. Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. Okay, 1 down. Okay, you think we can do it one more time? I think we can. Here we go. Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. Amazing job, guys. Remember to practice this one, show your friends and your family, see how good you can get at it, okay? I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, Allie. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Not so good. My friend's dad doesn't have a job, and he was afraid that meant he wasn't going to be able to celebrate his birthday. But his grandma sent the whole family tickets to Legoland, and he got to bring a friend, and that was me. But then their car broke down yesterday, and we couldn't go. Why'd God let that happen?
I don't know. But Andy, I'm not sure we're supposed to ask those kinds of questions.
What do you mean?
Well, you're questioning God, and God's all-knowing and all-powerful. He can do anything he wants. I don't think he wants us questioning him. That's what my parents call disrespectful.
Oh, I thought we could ask God anything.
Really? Without getting into trouble?
Yeah, I don't think it's a sin to ask God questions about himself.
Are you sure?
Well, no, maybe. We should probably ask Sarah. You want to call her over?
Yeah.
Sarah! Oh, Sarah!
Hey guys, what's up?
Well, Andy has a question he'd like to ask.
Okay.
He wants to know stuff about God. I told him that I don't think we're supposed to ask questions like that. We're not supposed to doubt him or why he does the stuff the way he does. We're just supposed to go along with it. That's what faith is, right?
Well, it sounds like you guys are asking some really big questions.
We are?
You know, I think I know someone who could help us out with this. I think this is a case for Detective Morales. I think we should give him a call.
Super Dooper Detective Agency. You've reached the office of Detective Morales. Can I help you? Oh, hiya, Sarah. How you doing, sweetheart? Oh, just a minute. Let me see if he's in. Hey, DM, where are ya? Phone's for you. It's Sarah. Sounds like she's got another job.
Yes, I'll get it, Pickles. Hi, Sarah. How you been? Uh-huh. So you want to know if it's all right to question God? My investigative team will get right on it. Pickles.
Yeah.
Sounds like we got a big case. I think we'll call it the case of the inquisitive mind.
Ah.
Get Mrs. Barrett on the phone.
Sure, right away, DM.
Record keeping, Mrs. Barrett here. Ah, yes. Yes, I will certainly do that, sir. Sir, may I make a suggestion? Start in James 1:5. There's some information there that I think will get you on the right track. In the meantime, I'll keep looking and I'll get back to you as soon as I have more.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrett. I'll talk to you soon. Junior Detective, I need you.
Sir, yes, sir. Reporting for duty, sir.
You don't have to salute, Junior Detective. We're not in the Army.
Okay, sir.
You're a junior detective, and we have a big case. We need to know if it's okay to question God. Now, Mrs. Barrett gave us a Bible reference, James 1:5. Will you look that up and let us know what it says, please?
Sir, yes, sir. Will do, sir. Right away, sir. Got it, sir. It says, if any of you needs wisdom, you should ask God for it. He will give it to you. God gives freely to everyone and doesn't find fault.
Great job, Junior Detective. Now, there's something else that's very important that we need to do here.
What's that, sir?
Context. When we read a Bible verse like this one, we always need to check the context. We need to know who, what, when. You should be writing this down. Where and why. Otherwise, we could misunderstand what the Bible is teaching us.
Oh. But, sir, who is who and what is what? And what does where, when, and why have to do with it?
Slow down, Junior Detective. I'll explain. Context is when we try to understand what the original author meant to say to the original audience he was writing to. So let's begin with who. Who is writing this passage?
Well, this is a letter from James, who is a half-brother to Jesus. James of the Church of Jerusalem, and he wrote to all the Jewish people who were scattered among the nations. It says so at the very beginning of the book in the first verse.
That's correct. And what is James talking about?
He's giving people advice, telling people what to do when they face any kind of trouble. That's what the second verse says.
And when did this take place?
Well, most Bible scholars believe that the book of James was one of the first New Testament books written. They believe that it was written between 44 AD, the beginning of the Jewish persecution, and 62 AD, James's death.
Very good deductive skills, Junior Detective. Keep going.
Well, the where is a bit tricky, because this was a letter James wrote to all the scattered Jews. So the information in it must have been passed along from city to city, and the why was because people were feeling the trouble of being persecuted and needed to be encouraged.
You're very right. Now let's go back to our verse and see if it answers the question. If any of you needs wisdom, you should ask God for it.
James is saying it's okay to ask God questions, right?
Right. Now let's read on. He will give it to you. God gives freely to everyone and doesn't find fault.
Well, that says God will help us understand and won't get angry with us for asking, right?
Right again. This is an excellent verse that shows us that God is okay with us asking him questions. Let's add it to the case file.
Yes, sir.
Super Dooper Detective Agency, Pickle speaking. Oh, Mrs. Barrett, it's you. You need to talk to Detective Morales? Sure, darling, let me get him for you. Hey, D! Oh, Mrs. Barrett's on the phone for you, sir.
Yes, Mrs. Barrett. Did you find any more clues?
Yes, sir. There are lots of clues on this subject. I sent you a fax. Can you take a look? First, I found a study on the book of Psalms from the Old Testament that says over 1/3 of the verses in that book are people crying out to God and asking him questions. They seem to ask openly without any kind of punishment. And then there are lots of stories from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John where the disciples are asking Jesus questions. And, well, Jesus is God. In fact, one of the disciples had a nickname. He was known as Doubting Thomas. In John 20, Thomas asked Jesus to prove that he had really risen from the dead. Jesus took the time to answer Thomas's question by showing him the scars on his hands and his feet. But the biggest proof is Jesus himself.
What do you mean?
Well, in Matthew 27, when Jesus was dying on the cross and felt the weight of all of our sin and shame upon himself, he asked God, "Why have you deserted me?"
You're saying that even Jesus, the Son of God, asked God, his Father, a question in a moment of pain and suffering.
Yes, sir, I believe he did.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrett. Well, that's proof enough for me. I appreciate your hard work. We have our answer. Pickles, send this case file to Sarah.
Right away, DM.
This case of the inquisitive mind is closed. That's another case solved for the Faith Files.
Wow, that was a lot of really good information. So, what do you guys think?
So, I guess it is okay to question God?
Allie, I think that means you can stop whispering now.
Oh, right. So, it's okay to question God?
Correct. And you know, that's really good news. Detective Morales and his team found a lot of really great examples of people in the Bible who had lots of questions. And even Jesus asked God questions.
I knew it.
But Sarah, I thought we were supposed to trust God by faith, to believe even when we don't see or have answers.
Well, Allie, you know, faith is believing even when we can't see. But by asking questions, it really helps to build trust. And when we get to know God, it helps us trust him. And when we learn to trust him, it helps our faith grow stronger. So it's kind of like a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Oh, I like that. Questions grow our faith muscles.
I get it. The more questions I ask, the more answers I get. And the more answers I get, the more I'll understand about God. And the more I understand about God, the easier it is to trust him. And the more I trust him, the stronger my faith grows.
That's right. You know, our memory verse today points us in exactly that direction. Do either of you guys remember it?
I do! Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Sarah, I thought this verse was about visiting neighbors or something. You know, because the stuff about knocking.
Well, I can see how you'd think that, but it's not really about neighbors at all. This verse is telling us that Jesus is inviting us to get to know him. He's encouraging us to ask questions, to search for answers, and to knock diligently, which means to not give up.
Oh, I see. But wait, how do we ask God questions, Sarah? Is that prayer?
It sure is. And we know that we can pray anywhere, at any time, for anything. Asking is prayer. Searching is asking people that we know God and have a great relationship with him, or reading our Bibles, or researching, or listening to the Holy Spirit so that we can learn as much as we can.
And knocking?
I know. Knocking is doing it over and over and over again until you find the answer.
That's right. And you know, something amazing happens when we search for God with our whole heart. God promises that we'll find him. but it may not be the way that we expected to find him. That's why we should search and ask and knock. All those things help to grow our relationship with him.
Wow, I want to grow like that.
Me too.
You know, today's lesson is really important. You see, all of us are going to have questions about God or our faith at some point in time. It's just a natural part of our Christian walk.
And we don't have to be afraid to ask.
And we don't have to worry that he'll be mad at us.
That's right. It's not a sin to question God, but he encourages us to ask, to search,
And knock.
That's right.
Hey guys, it's time for art, and we're going to start doing watercolor art today, doing a technique called wet on wet. And we're going to create these really cool hearts. So you ready? Let's go. All right, so today we begin working with watercolor, and I'm just going to use a half sheet of paper, but I'm going to draw 2 hearts on my paper, one over here and one over here, because I want you to try this twice. We're going to learn how to blend our watercolors. And so you don't have to draw a heart. You can draw a square, a squiggly line, but something about this big that it's a circle or an oval. I'm gonna do hearts, and I need to have my water. I need to have a paper towel. I need to have my paints. Okay, this is what you do. Start with putting your paintbrush in the water, and we're not gonna use any color to start with. I am just gonna paint inside the heart that I drew. I'm just gonna use water. Lots and lots of water. I don't really want to flood it, but I want to paint. And if I don't get in the lines, that's going to be, if I go outside the lines, I mean, that's going to be okay because I can cut it out afterwards. So I'm just painting inside the heart shape with just water. And I want to get the edges and the point. And you can tell when you have all the edges wet because it kind of shimmery, it's shiny. Can you see how shiny that is with water? And now I'm going to add my first color, and since yellow is the lightest color, I'm going to start there, and I'm going to dip my brush in the water and just drop that water right in the yellow, and I'm going to squiggle it around there to load up my paintbrush with yellow paint. I'm actually going to want more, so I'm going to just dip it in again and add more water and just swirl that around until I get lots of paint on my brush. And I want to do the middle of my heart, so I'm just going to put this, see how it just blends? The yellow color just actually soaks up in that water. And if I want it darker yellow, I just need more paint. And I'm going to do stripes, 3 stripes. I'm just going to use 3 colors today, yellow, blue, and red, because we're going to blend those and see what new colors they make. So I'm going to get all that yellow. Okay, now to clean off my brush, I need to get it in the water, and I'm going to test to see that the paint is all gone by just dabbing it on the paper towel. And see, there's no paint there, which tells me there's no more yellow paint on my paintbrush. So I'm going to get it wet again, and this time I'm going to do red. So I'm going to put 2 drops of water in my red and then just paint around in here to get my brush loaded with red paint. And this time I'm going to do the right side. And I'm going to start over here on the edge and just let it blend. See how it just goes wherever the water had been? It's going to make this really cool edge. I want this side, and it's bleeding out over my pencil mark, which is totally fine. And if I put more red this way, you'll see what color red and yellow make. So it's red on the edges, but what color is this in the middle? It's getting to be orange. There you go. Now I want to get all the paint out of my brush, so I dip it in there. I test it on my paper towel. It's clear. So now I need water in the blue. So I'm going to do it once. I'm going to do it twice. Load up my brush with blue, and this time I'm going to do the left side of the heart. I'm going to paint just where the water already is. I'm just adding color, and can you see what color blue and yellow make? What color is this right here? That's right, it's making green. So this is blending when you just put color on and you let them drip into each other, and it makes really pretty hearts. So that now needs to dry. So I'm gonna clean off my brush again, make sure there's no paint on it. And now I'm gonna do the second one while I'm waiting for that to dry. I'm gonna start again by just coloring it in with water, and then I'm just gonna add whatever colors I want. I want you to do the same. Completely fill your heart with water, and then you're gonna drop in whatever colors you want. Just remember to clean your brush between colors. Okay, now all I need to do is let that dry, and you want it to get completely dry. You might even want to use a blow dryer to dry it gently, because if you get the blow dryer too close, it'll smear the paint. And then when you're done, just cut them out and you have some very pretty hearts. Now, how to take care of your paint. You want to make sure that your paintbrush is completely clear of paint, and you want the bristles to dry flat, so you want to kind of form them with your hand. You want to put it in here to protect it. And if you have a lot of paint coming out, you want to just kind of clean it up around the edges so that the purple doesn't smear into the blue or the blue into the red. You can clear this whole plastic thing, and then you just close it up and you're done. Good job.
Hey, boys and girls, you know what time it is. That's right. It's time for the review game. Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. What was today's big question? Was it A, what's for dinner? B, are we there yet? Or C, is it okay to question God? Do you remember? The answer is C. Today we investigated if it's okay to question God. Question number 2. Where did Miss Barrett find proof that it was okay to ask questions? Was it found in A, the filing cabinet, B, in the Bible, C, in her hiding place? Do you have your answer? The answer is B. Today's memory verse and a verse in the book of James both said that it was okay to ask God questions. Question number 3, true or false? God gets worried and angry when we ask him questions. Is this statement true or false? Which one is it, boys and girls? If you answered false, you are correct. God wants us to know him, and he welcomes our questions. Question number 4, true or false? When we ask, search, and knock, we are growing our relationship with God. Is this true or false? The answer is true. Praying, asking questions, and continually searching for answers grows our relationship with God. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, I'm Merle, and if we had never met before, how could you get to know me better? Well, let's see. You could spend a lot of time with me, or you could ask me a bunch of questions about things that I like, or stuff that I do, or things that have happened in my past, and then you would get to know me really well. Well, asking God questions helps us get to know him better too. Asking questions, even the really hard ones, helps us to understand our faith better, and it helps our faith to grow. You know what's so cool too? Is that there is no question that we could ever ask that is too much for God to handle. We could never stump God because God is all-knowing and he is all-powerful. So there's nothing that we could think up or wonder about that he is not in complete knowledge of. You know, my favorite part of today's lesson was hearing Mrs. Barrett share with us examples of people in the Bible who had questions for God, which tells me that it's okay if I have questions for God too. Although, it's important to know that sometimes the way that God answers, well, it's not always super clear, and sometimes it's, you need to wait, or sometimes it just isn't what we want to hear. So when I think about that, I know that there's just some stuff that I need to pray for. So would you pray with me right now? I'm going to close my eyes, and you can too. And you can say your own words or repeat the ones that I say. Are you ready? Father God, we thank you for loving us so much, and we thank you that it's okay for us to come to you with questions. And God, we just ask right now that as we go through asking questions about our faith and about you, that we would get a deeper understanding of who you are and that we would draw closer to you. God, with the questions that are hard to hear the answers to or that we just don't quite understand, God, would you just help us to trust you, to trust in knowing that you know everything and that you are all-powerful and that you love us completely. God, we love you, and we thank you for this time that we've had together. In your name we pray. Amen.